Why am I standing out here in the desert?
Because it's a barren wasteland that doesn't require much time, talent, or money to make. I don't know, just off the top of my head.
It's because Saints Row is all new. With a brand new location in the American Southwest, with all new characters to discover.
And that is exactly the problem. People didn't want new characters. They didn't want you to destroy the new humor. They didn't want you to destroy the game. But you did. Now, my last video on this, that really popped off. A hell of a lot more views, like 100 or more times more views than I normally get. But there were some comments in there that really weren't very happy. You can't judge it off one trailer. You can't judge it off one presentation. So here I am back again, this time with a dev blog. And you know what? I'm still right.
Saints Row franchise has existed and done so many amazing things.
Where do you go from there? It's kind of hard to figure out.
Something bigger and better, but keeping the same cast, crew, and humor that you did in the previous game. Because after all, that's why you've got customers in the first place, and that's what they're looking for. I didn't think it was that complicated, to be honest.
Naturally, we looked at all the things that we've done in the past. But the more we did that, the more we started to discover we're actually blocking ourselves from the massive creativity we have at the studio.
Let the past die. Kill it if you have to.
Yeah, we've got all these old games, this massive IP, and it's just full of lore and humor and fans. And if we just hollow that out, if we just scrape out the insides, then we can shove it full of these new creative ideas. Ideologies, if you will.
We weren't really expressing what this game needed to be about. We need to reboot Saints Row. Rich in diversity.
Embrace your identity.
Feel included.
And of course, all the people that like that old stuff, the sort of horrible stuff from the 2010s, they're kind of problematic anyway, and we don't really want to have anything to do with them. They'll love our new stuff if we just put the right name on it, if we put it in the skin suit and just pretend it's the same thing, they'll love that. Won't they? Now, if they don't, we can just insult them anyway.
Haters gonna hate.
We've created a set of characters that you're going to want to invite in your living room every day.
I don't even want them in this video.
We knew we wanted to get a fresh sort of perspective coming in, and we tried to bring in a lot of new faces into it.
You get those new people in that have never worked on a Saints Row before. They'll know what to do. What great things have they got for us?
Color.
You're thinking of that red rock. You're thinking of that sandy ground.
Oh, brown. That colorful brown. Yeah, when I think of quality, the first color in my head is brown. Honestly, I don't know how you can top that.
The iconic sunsets.
Because nowhere else in the world has a sun.
All the crazy sandbox action happens out here.
Doesn't it look like the most exciting place, especially when you compare it to a major built-up city full of skyscrapers, cars, and people? I can't wait for this.
Now we get the heart of our tour. The Saints themselves. Who are these four friends who come together, take a chance on each other, and create a criminal empire
To pay off their student debts. No, really, that's literally the reason why they're going into a life of crime. Seriously.
100% they're relatable. I would not do what they do to pay down the student loans, but I get where they're coming from.
Boss is you, sort of a charismatic murder machine.
Have you been speaking to my ex?
Kevin is shirtless. I don't know why.
I didn't even show you the picture of the guy that said that, but we all know why. I wouldn't mind, but let's get the kit off one of the women as well, shall we? In the name of equality.
Kev wants to be a TV chef.
That's why he took up a life of crime, got his face known to the police, and so if he ever makes it on TV, he'll just instantly get arrested. Smart bloke.
Eli. He wants to build something special.
What he's built is a crime against fashion, and that's me saying it. And I have the fashion sense of someone that gets dressed in the dark. And bow ties still aren't cool.
Including the bow tie.
Yeah, it's cool. Bow ties are cool.
Bow ties are cool.
Bow ties are cool.
What kind of tie is that?
A cool one.
So let's talk about the talented team of creatives at Volition.
This weird combination of humor.
No. You said you were getting rid of the edgy humor. It's too late to go back on that now. We know the truth. What else have you got?
Just BS and have fun with it.
How do you do, fellow kids?
What?
Kill it.
Prefer to zoom out a little bit.
But who would our bad guys be without the even badder guys? The criminal gangs that rule their own territories in Santo Ileso.
Marshall is an international corporation.
They've got high-tech, bleeding-edge technology, and they're designed to secure and lock you down.
So just Stag from Saints Row 3 then. but you couldn't keep the crew. Got it.
In contrast, Panteros is all about muscle and physical power, and they favor melee attacks and heavy weaponry to come at you with full force.
Literally people that bring hammers to a gunfight. That'll go well.
You're messing with the Panteros, you're messing with strength.
And stupidity.
We started this journey searching for the new Saints. And where we got to is, it was time to tell a new story set in a whole new city about a group of friends hungry to create a new criminal empire.
Sheer fucking hubris.
Now, I wasn't surprised when I saw in the dev blog exactly what I thought of the trailer and the presentation. Because all of these things, they're just red flags, they're patterns. When you see the characters, when you hear the language that's used, it's all the same stuff. It's meant to be there, it's deliberate. There to symbolize that, don't worry, I'm a member of your tribe. And that is only done by somebody that doesn't care about entertaining you anymore. They care about the message. They care about the ideology. They care about educating you more than entertaining you. And it's not just me that sees it. Lots of gamers did as well, which is why there's the backlash. Even if nobody knew why they didn't like it, they couldn't quite put their finger on the reason why it had happened. They knew that what they liked before in the previous games was under attack, was being removed. Because it's happened in movies, television, and games for many years at this point, many times, and it all goes through the same pattern with the same language. What I was surprised about is how open the devs were with it, because you'd think they'd know by now, with what happened with Battlefield 5 and other things, that this is not how you sell games. And they should care about selling games. I was surprised that they didn't care about insulting their customers, just being openly antagonistic to them. It was like they didn't care if they got any money, like they didn't care if they sold any copies. They were deliberately ejecting their entire old fan base for either some new one that they thought was far larger, or just that they didn't really care about viewing figures, which is odd. But when I made that last video, what I didn't know was this. That Saints Row Reboot will be an exclusive to the Epic's game store on PC. Now, Epic have been paying games to be on their store, specifically to exclude them from Steam, the largest game platform on PC. And when you realize this, everything fits into place. Like, I'm against exclusive normally, but at least when it comes to PlayStation and stuff, the actual producers of the game, the developers, are often owned by Sony. They're there to sell the hardware, so Sony has an invested interest in making that game good, because it will directly impact on the prestige of their console. That's not true with Epic. Epic just wants people in their store. They just pay people to come across, just so they have something different that Steam doesn't have, to try and lure customers across. But the quality isn't necessarily important, especially if the money has been given up front. So what you have here is Saints Row has had their development cost paid for. They've already made their money, and that removes the key fundamental principle of both capitalism and any free market economy. That the customer votes with their wallet. If the customer doesn't like something, they don't give the money to the business, and the business needs to care about that because they need that money, they need to stay afloat and make a profit. But Saints Row, they've already solved that problem. As far as Saints Row is concerned, the customer no longer matters. There's no one keeping them in check, which is the customer's job. And so without that, they were free to engage in whatever they want. If ideology was important to them, now they have a free go at preaching it to everybody. They give it from their point of view. What's the worst that can happen? Nobody buys it, but the game's already paid for, and they can just go on to something else with the money that they made from this. They lose nothing. And that is a major problem. That makes the entire system fall apart. This is why Epic Game Store exclusives are so much worse than even console ones. Normally, there's no advantage for customers, but Epic Game Store exclusives, ones which are paid for their development costs, ones which are paid simply for exclusivity with no actual caveat or punishment if the game isn't good. Those actually negatively impact gamers even more. Those ruin IPs. Those ruin properties. And that's what you've got here. If it feels like they don't care about the customers, if it feels like they don't care about you as gamers, it's because they don't. Because they have no reason to. Somebody else has already paid them more money than you ever could. And with that, I don't know what to do. The only thing I can do, as far as I'm concerned, is what I'm doing. I don't give them money, I don't support it. And in the turn, I make videos like this, videos like the other one, telling other people what happened. Because there are some people that either won't watch the trailer and will just see Saints Row and buy it, or they'll see the trailer and not realize what's going on until they buy it and it's too late. As far as I'm concerned, the only thing I can contribute to this is trying to tell people, look what's happening to your games. And also, taking the piss out of them is not only fun, but one of the best methods in fighting back against this. When you humiliate something like this, when you show its flaws, when you just laugh at something, it really takes its power away, which is, at the end of the day, what the entire point of all of these kind of things are. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but if you're going to destroy my games, if you're going to take my entertainment away from me, then I'm just going to make my own entertainment at their expense. But for now, that's it from me. If you like the video, press like and subscribe for more videos in the future, and let me know what you thought of the dev blog and Saints Row down below in the comments. I'm interested to find out, but for now, that's it from me. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.